once again, we have another opportunity for a learning experience to learn from another. And tonight we have a lady who is a mother of two, who has been in this business for a number of years and has reached 50K affiliate. She's originally from Jamaica, now staying in the United States. And, just give me a moment. No? And she's had some struggles of her own, but I'm sure if I leave them up to her, she'll explain the whole story to you. I look forward to hearing from her as to you. Her name is Stanja Fleetwook. Stanja, I hope I've got it right. Welcome to the call, and I hand it over to you.
Hello, hello, hello. How are you? Thank you so much, Warwick. I have to say that I thank you so much for this opportunity and for trusting me to speak to your team. Are you crazy, Warwick? They're going to be nuts by the time I'm done. Warwick, if you could do... What'd you say?
I said, I hope I'm crazy.
I like that. Warwick, if you could do me a super big favor, and if you can kind of act as my moderator, I do that for my coach when she's training, and maybe just mute people out. Sometimes they forget, and that could be a little disrupting. So thank you so much, Warwick. Yes, guys, my name is Stanja Fleetwook. I hail from Long Island, New York. That's where I am right now in my home. It's my living room behind me. But as Warwick told you, Warwick, mute your line also. Mute your line too. Your line isn't muted. But what Warwick was trying to express to you guys, and he and I, we met maybe not in person, but on a call with Alton about a year ago. I think it was a year ago. Alton asked me to speak to his team. Warwick followed up. He talked about how much he appreciated me sharing my story. And we've kept in contact ever since. We'll have conversations in Messenger about the business, tips, whatever have you. No, he's not on my team. And we're going to get to all of that, why it's important to be graceful, right? So my story, how I got into this business, as Warwick told you, I'm an immigrant. So I understand, especially speaking to a nation of Africa, a whole different, continent than where I am. I understand what it's like to be in a business, but sometimes it feels like, it's very alien to you. So I came to this country when I was 4 years old. So talk about feeling like an alien. I don't even want to tell you how I got into this country because it's probably being recorded. But my mom left me in Jamaica, and I have business partners. I want to give a shout out that's on this training. Shout out to Junette Andrew, April Bishop. I appreciate you. Shante Dunning. Thank you so much for being business partners and friends and supporting. But they may not even know this, but my mom left me in Jamaica. She left me to come to a foreign country, not because we were poor, not because we weren't doing well, but my mom was at a stalemate. She was running the Sheraton Hotel. She has pictures with the Jackson 5 when they came to the Sheraton. She has stories about Elvis when he came to Jamaica to perform. She was doing well, but there was a point where she wanted more. She always taught me, Stanny, there's good, there's great, and there's better. And she was doing pretty good, but she wanted to be great. And then when she came to America, she lost everything. Being a hotel manager meant nothing in America. She had to start from the bottom and work her way back up. So she had to even be better. Good, great, and better. And that's what was instilled in me. That level of strength, that level of not quitting, that level of being intentional about your dreams and being intentional about your level of leadership. With that being said, my mom is my mentor and my leader. She's no longer on this earth, but she's still leading me every day with different behaviors of how we flourished in this country, things she did to get us here, from being a housekeeper, how humbling, taking me with her to very wealthy homes and showing me the homes, showing me the work she had to do, having me help her, but having me realize an education would get me further. Having me realize that, do you want to do what I'm doing? Nah, I don't think so. But here's the caveat. My mom was a business owner. She didn't realize it, but I did. At 12 years old, I used to say, Mommy, why you don't call your friends in Jamaica, your other friends who need help and who want to come to America? And why don't you tell them to come up here and you file for them with something called, you had to file for someone for them to come to this country. And then, Mommy, you can make a percentage of what they make. And she would look at me like, what? As I think back, this hit me about a year ago that, holy cow, you were born for this, Stanj. Your mom taught you what she didn't want you to do, how to be your own business person. And yeah, Mommy didn't pay taxes on that business, right? Uncle Sam, as we call him, that's the tax man in America, right? That's the tax system, as we call him, a man. But we call it Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam didn't know about those monies my mom was making. She was a hustler for real. So ladies and gentlemen, my story is a story of perseverance. My story is a story of watching my mom work hard, living amongst 5 other women in a home, each probably making about $20,000. In America, we call that living in subsidized housing, public housing, the projects. That's where we should have lived. But we always stayed together because we knew if we were together, we had way more. All right. So I want to just talk to you guys about, I know a little bit about your team. Warwick has shared, you guys have had a shift, right? As Keller Williams says, shift has happened to you guys. We won't get into it too deep, but one thing I love about Warwick, when we spoke about that shift, he said, it's no big deal. He said, it's okay. It's a good thing. Things happen. We're still here as a team and we're going to keep thriving. I believe their upline made a shift in his position. And there's been a lot of things going on with the products. They have only digital, I heard, in their market. So for my team who's listening, talk about upsets, talk about unexpected change and pivoting. This team is exemplary of that. I want you to take out your notebook, if you will. I was a school teacher for 16 years, so pardon the teacher in me, but I don't want to talk at you. I want to speak to you in the sense of building and helping you to understand what's gotten our team, not me, my team to 50K. One thing I want you guys to write down is leadership. What are the levels of leadership? Well, for me, guys, number one, and I wrote my notes here, you never, ever forget your previous level in business. So as we, there's a saying, it's an African saying called Sankofa. You must know your past so that you can know where you're going. There was a movie called Sankofa, never forget it, watched it in college. So you need to know your history sometimes before you know where you're even going. I want you guys to really understand you must appreciate whatever level you are and whatever level you came from. Now, some of you may say, well, Stanja, I haven't even hit a rank yet. It doesn't matter. What are you bringing to the table? You're going to build upon that. That's the key. And if you have hit a rank, and if you've been struggling at that rank, then I want you to remember the people, the strategies that got you there, and I want you to go back to that, and I want you to build upon that. You cannot abandon that. When we became a 50K team, it wasn't, all right, so, 5K, I'm no longer 5K. As a matter of fact, to hit 50K, I remember deliberately, and April's here, I called her numerous times after we hit 10K. She was still in the business, she was doing her thing, but she had a whole nother career where she was thriving in that career, but she was still invested in this business. But I kept going back and calling her and reaching out to her, as well as other people I saw on the team. And I had conversations. It wasn't a text. It wasn't a voice clip. Get on the phone and talk to people. I needed to know where she was at in her life. I needed to know what was going on. And I needed to know why she joined this business and where she wanted to go, because some time had lapsed and I hadn't seen her reach her goals. And so we had that conversation. I told her what I was looking to do with the team. And I said, are you on board? Because this is where I'm going. I'm going to go without you, but I really want to look to my right and see you there. And she said, you're not leaving me behind. You're not leaving me behind. So I didn't forget those that got the team to 5K, 10K. Instead, I went back And I invited them to take the journey to the next level. Some people are not going to want to take that journey, but you'll be shocked. Many will. Many will. Do not forget where you came from within your business and go from there. Number two, you are not on the same level as everyone. Now, there's two ways to look at this. Myself as a leader, I'm a very different style of a leader than maybe a Chris, Chris Robinson in this business. I'm a different type of leader than a Jenna. I'm a different type of leader than a Tina Joy Carroll. I'm a different type of leader than a Candace Bird Davis, but I stand amongst leaders and I have my own individuality. It's important. It's important. Robert Hollett says it best. There's a framework in this business, guys, stick to it, but just keep remembering to add your special sauce. How do you develop that sauce? Well, you are who you are, right? You have that way about you. You can be, maybe you're super creative, I don't know, but you want to add that to your business. But you also, as you're dealing with your followers, if you will, or your business partners, as I'd rather call them, these are individuals that you need to find out about them. Each business partner is not going to be the same. Everyone is different. So I need to understand Dale Franklin, who I see on this call. I need to understand him and what he wants out of life so I could better know how to coach him and lead him. And then I see Mary Machoki. Mary is a different individual. I need to respect who she is so that I can lead her differently. But the end goal is always going to be the same: success and getting what you want. But leadership is not a one-size-fits-all. It is not. So it's super important that we don't get a little bit arrogant in our coaching and we start thinking, well, I don't need to know this, I don't need to know that. They're gonna do it my way. They're gonna do it my way or the highway. Okay, what happens if it's the highway? Good night. You might have lost a lot of good talent. So just remember, you are not on the same level as everyone. So you want to treat everyone accordingly. Sometimes I call it, we say in our business, we walk with the walkers and we run with the runners. And I added, well, sometimes we got to crawl with the crawlers, walk with the walkers, and run with the runners. I don't leave anyone behind, but I'm not going to stop running. But there are times where I have to take a breath. I used to run marathons. I ran a half a marathon. And I'll tell you something funny. There was a young lady, a teacher, who I was running with. I think my team heard this story. And she was we had trained in 15-degree weather, 15-degree Fahrenheit. So for you guys, that's negative, whatever, below zero, right? Temperatures, because you guys are Celsius. And I was training for about 6 months in freezing cold in February. This was about 6 years ago. It was arduous, it was stressful. It was a huge realization of my strength. It was a lot of things. There was tears, it was a lot. But on the day of the race, the young lady and I always knew she ran faster than me. She had a different pace, but I was going my pace. She invited her boyfriend, her new boyfriend, to come on the run. She only known him maybe a month, and he decided he wanted to run a half marathon. Yes, with no practice. Good night. They took off. We all took off, and we all were running together. We're running together until she wanted to keep up her pace, and I realized I needed to slow my pace down a bit because I wanted to run the whole race. The only time I decided, because this was my first half marathon, that I would take a break would be when we got to a water station. So I'd drink my water, maybe take 20 steps, and I would start running again. Well, her and her boyfriend, by maybe, I don't know, into the 7th mile, they were long gone, long gone. Guys, in the middle of the race, maybe on the 10th mile or so, and a half marathon is 13 point something miles. So maybe somewhere in the 10th mile, I needed to go to the bathroom, all right? Go to the bathroom, I see her boyfriend. I see Chrissy's boyfriend, I'll tell you her name, Chrissy's boyfriend. And I was like, oh my God, like I caught up to you? And he was like, no, I had to go to the bathroom, but I gotta go. And I was like, well, where's Chrissy? And he was like, she never stopped running. And I said, she never stopped running. He said, she never stopped. She just kept going. I said, okay. He said, so I'm going to take off now and I'm going to go and catch up to her. I said, well, be careful because, who knows how far she is. By the end of the race, I came in gracefully. And who did I see? that young guy with Christy, my girlfriend, at the end of the race. The ambulance had already came. He damn near passed out. He lost so many electrolytes from trying to keep up with her. And she just ran her own race. She ran her own race. And he tried to keep up with her. She clearly left him behind. But the thing is that she spent more time attending to him at the end of the race, more so than just maybe being there a little bit more for him during the race. You see, some people will say, well, I don't know, Stanja, you got to keep running. You can't stop. You can't stop. No, you don't necessarily have to stop, but he only went to the bathroom. It's not like he needed to stop the race. It's not like he was severely injured and he was like, you go, you've been training. He just went to the bathroom, for God's sakes. My thing is, try not to leave anyone behind, but if you have to, you have to. But if they're part of your team, and if you can just say to them, hey, pick yourself up, some encouraging words, let's go, make it quick, we can't stop, we'll lose this momentum. Maybe he would have ran his race at a different pace. Maybe he would have been faster at going to the bathroom so that he can just keep up naturally with her instead of putting too much pressure on himself because he wasn't ready for that race. So a lot of people on your team, they're not ready for this. They have no clue what they're doing. And you're thinking, I don't have time. I need to go. I want to hit these ranks. I want to make this happen. I'm leaving you behind. No. A lot of the success my team has had is because I'm walking, I'm looking ahead. I have my eye on the prize, but I'll occasionally see who's close to me in that walk and say, hey, here's my hand. Let's go. I'm gonna pull you up, pull up. We need that. We need that for each other. There's good news. The higher you go, the easier it is to lead. Why? Because now your work should start to leave some sense of an example. Your work should have saturated with people. Your work should show your level of influence. It should be increasing. So my team sees that I get invited to train other people. And a lot of times they're like, wow, coach, that's pretty cool. And I'm like, you could do it too. I didn't do anything that special. I'm just out there on lives. I'm out there giving good, solid material that can solve a problem. That's all I'm doing. I'm just out there helping people. But in order for them to know I exist, because I'm here in my living room, I go on social media. That's all I'm doing. And with that, you're going to have people who are going to want to get to know you. And with that, people will invite you for speaking engagements. And with that, your team, you'll start to attract new people on your team. And with that, you won't be worried about Bobby Blue or Rosemary, who hasn't signed up with you yet. And she said she would 3 weeks ago when she got paid, and she still hasn't. And now you're calling her every day, stressing out her life, which makes her think you have no influence. If you have influence, you're busy. If you have influence, you don't have time to really call someone 10 times a day to keep joining your business. You can do a 3-5-3. In 3 days, I'll call you back. And if you're still not ready, in 5 days, I'll call you back. And if you're still not ready, in 3 weeks, I'll call you back. But you should, at this point, have some level of influence. So now you're attracting people. They want to be with you. They want to know what's your secret sauce. It's like dating. It's dating. My ex-boyfriend, boo-hoo to him, he missed out on all of this, right? Well, when I was transitioning from him and I was like, I want to be with someone else, there was a teacher, I'll never forget. She said to me, honey, how's the dating thing going? I'm like, well, I met this new guy who's my current husband. I said, I met this new guy and I'm just not sure, how it's going. He says he's going to call, same stuff, different day, doesn't call when he says he's going to call. She said, listen, stop right there. And I said, what? She said, never forget, men love to hunt. I said, oh. She said, you're almost going to be Bambi. I'm like, Bambi? She's like, yeah, you're just going to keep running. I'm like, running away from him? She's like, yeah, you're busy. I was like, I am busy. She's like, you don't have time to wait for his call. I was like, yeah, I don't have time to wait for his call. Meanwhile, I was by the phone, like waiting and waiting and waiting. She's like, no. You're going to attract him because you seem like someone that's not interested in him. Okay, I did it. I got a proposal 6 months later. It's the same thing in this business. Stop chasing. Build your level of influence. Build your level of influence. And as you do so, you're going to attract those that you're looking for. Those that you're looking for are looking for you too. You're going to attract them. And then guess what? Those that were following or a part of your team, they're going to say, wow, that's a leader. They keep reinventing themselves. They keep finding different people. Wow, you signed up that person. Wow, you signed up that leader. Holy cupcakes, you're not playing. And it gets easier. It gets easier. Now, I'm not saying, there's a saying, with each level, there's a new devil. But my day one in this business is not the same as my day 500 and something. It's very different. I'm more confident. My level of attraction is better. I'm attracting people similar to me and even better than me. Wasn't able to do that in the beginning. So keep being out there. Keep being out there. Let people know you exist. If you're not a social media person, if you go to the gym, if you're going out to eat, if you're passing out your business cards, whatever you're doing that's working, keep doing it. But know that the levels of leadership will get easier as you establish your influence. You'll become that magnet. Number 4, the higher you move, there's always, at higher levels, there's going to be a different level of commitment. So when we triple ranked. So it was really a double rank in 2020, and Josh came up with the 1K later on in that year, I believe. So really, we double ranked, but now that I look back, we triple ranked. And how did we do that? We had a set play, right, that my coach gave us, what we were posting, when we were posting. So you had to be teachable, trainable, and coachable. Then, not only did I run the play, I looked at the data. So I had to understand my numbers. So I was constantly looking at my numbers. As a matter of fact, I had a whiteboard right here in front of my desk, and I had every day, I was tracking. Every single day, I was tracking my numbers, every day. I still track them, but I track them in a very different way. That gave me anxiety, but that's what I did, and we hit 10K. I had to go granular. I remember specifically going through my back office and looking at numbers and looking even on my 3rd, 4th level. And let's say Esther had 70 BV, right? And it was March 28th. I was hitting up her upline, let's say it's Warwick. I was like, Warwick, Esther has 70 BV. Does she know if she just buys a product of 30 BV more, she will be upgraded from a builder to a director, and she'll get a pay increase. She'll make 30% instead of 25%. And she'll tap into another level of her organization. If she waits till the 1st, she's going to have to buy that kit at full price. Whereas in all she has to do now is just get the difference in volume, which means the products will be less. That's what I was doing, guys. Because I realized we hit 5K. Let's see, we hit 10K the month of April. I'll never forget, it was April 4th or 5th, we were at 5K. And then I woke up the next morning, we had like 7,500. And I was like, wait, we're not getting that close to 10K, and I don't see this. We can do this. But I had to help other people to get there. I didn't think to myself, how many products can I sell? Then just go in and get more product or volume under someone in my team. I never thought that way. That's not long-term winning. Long-term winning is when everyone is winning with me. If they hit their goal, I hit my goal by default. So I had to really go deeper than I did, even at the 5K. And it's all in the same month, but it got crazy those last 4 days. I had to develop such thick skin. I had to develop such insight, because some people were like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to reach out to my so-and-so and so. I'm not doing that. I was like, okay, fine, no problem. So then I go to another person. Hey, Junette is at 90 BV, or Jeanette has 199 BV. Tell her one more volume, she could be 200 in BV, and she can have a serious pay upgrade to 50%. That's what I did. Then it was time for 50K. April will tell you, last January, all the way till April, we went not April, her name, the month April. We went nonstop, 4 days a week, blitzing, 9 a.m. It was 9 a.m., right, April, or 10 a.m. I think we did. Every single day, 4 days a week. Every single 4 days a week. Every single 4 days a week from January all the way till April. People cursed me out. She'll tell you, there were groups. People said stuff that wasn't nice to me. Then when I called that person, they threatened my life. And when I say threatened my life, I meant really. They were like, yo, where I'm from, you know, you can catch it, really, because I don't like how you spoke to me. I don't like how, I'm trying to motivate you to get on this call. This is what we do every morning. That's what got you your success. So I went through a whole nother growth in that month. But I realized that there's no quick way to the top. If you're taking the elevator, be prepared, you're going to take that same elevator down. Take the stairs. It's a longer climb, but you'll appreciate it more than the quick way. Embrace the conflicts, embrace the good moments, embrace the excitement, but keep going. Take the stairs, because it's going to help you to develop and grow and tap into those other layers of yourself, like the dermis. You know, there's the epidermis, the dermis, there's different layers of your skin to protect you. It's the same thing. There's different levels for you to get where you want to go in leadership and to reach those goals. So just be prepared for that. No one achieves anything great by doing the minimum. No one. You might say, well, Stanja, what about that person who just played the lottery, or the gambler who wins $1 million just like that? No, you just saw them playing the slots tonight. They've been on them slots probably every day for the last 8 years, blowing money, but at least they're dedicated and consistent. It's very rare someone just out of the blue sometimes just stumbles on greatness. Normally, there was a lot of work put in there before they became the champion. They were the champion during practice. They were the champion when you were asleep and they were still grinding. They were the champion when they were tired. They didn't want to go anymore, but they had to suck it up, buttercup, and wind up that back and keep going. That's the champion. But you only see the champion in the ring when they say, ding, he won the match. That's the winner. Or ding, here are the leaders from NBC that are crossing the stage. They were champions even in the dark. You're a champion even in the dark. You're a champion. Think like a champion. Think like a champion. And if you're thinking like a champion, you're going to have to put in the work. You're going to have to practice every day. You're going to have to practice at the same time. You're going to stop complaining it's hard. And you're just going to put that in your, how would you say it? Put that in your mindset that that's why I must keep going, because I'm tired of the same thing that I've been receiving. That's insanity. I've been doing it the same way, getting the same results, and they're not meeting my expectation. So I gotta go harder. That's the key. That's the key. So that's number 4. The higher you go, you're gonna have to realize it's gonna take different levels within yourself to grow. You know, moving up, number 5, moving up can take a long time, but going to the bottom can be like that. Now, volume and rank, 50K. I've seen as much as 77,000 in volume under the Insiders Club, my team. I have seen since then volumes that you would say, Ooh, no one talks about that. Yes, yes. Most leaders are not even their lifetime in their rank, but some of them are not even at that number. It goes up, it goes down. It goes down faster sometimes than it goes up. So I want you to think about that. When the fire is ablaze, guys, you got to keep throwing those twigs. When it's ablaze, keep throwing those twigs in that fire. It was maybe 3 months ago. It was a Christmas get together. I go to a boot camp class and there was a party, and the owner, I know him. He's actually in the business. He's one of my best customers. And he said, you know, bring your husband. We're going to have some drinks. We're going to do a midnight glow workout. They turned off the lights. We did this amazing workout, competed. And then afterwards, we had cocktails. And there was a gentleman outside, and he had a barrel, and he had the fire going in the barrel. And as we were talking and cocktailing, I'm just weird. I watch people's behavior. I noticed he kept saying to my husband, help me out, help me out. I gotta keep this fire going. So because it's in a barrel, a twig was not enough to keep this fire going. So they were literally running around getting like wooden crates and throwing it into, my husband's getting a kick out of it. And they're talking, everyone's talking, we're having a good time, right? We're elated. This is a celebration. It's a celebratory moment of our hard work and boot camp. But the fire had to still keep going, even at the height of all of our fun, even amongst the drunkenness. The fire had to keep going, because without the fire, we would have gotten cold and we wouldn't have been able to still party and kick it outside of the establishment and have a good time. So he kept throwing in big pieces. They're running around going into the woods, grabbing big pieces, anything they could find to keep the fire going. So even when things are going great, and even when they're not, keep the fire ablaze. Because before you know it, you'll be back where you started from. You don't want to lose the flame, guys. Number 6, the higher you go, the greater the return. I have to say, this is a great return. When you hit ranks, you're invited by colleagues, business partners to share your story. For me, that feels good. That's grace, that's giving back. I don't need to know, well, am I gonna make money from this? That's not me. I'm a teacher, so I like to help. It makes me feel good. What a great return. What a great return for me saying yes to my business partner, Candace Bird Davis, to be in this business and to be able to help others. When April calls me and she says, hey, coach, I trained her on YouTube. Well, she's mastered it and taken it to a whole nother level, right? And she'll come back to me and she'll say, hey, coach, I got invited. She also does speak vendoring events. And she'll say, coach, I got invited to go speak at a church. And I'm like, do tell. And she's like, I'm going to be speaking about CBD. And I could hear it in her voice, how good she feels about that. Such a great return. April is a 10K affiliate. Such a great return for the work that she's put forth. And now she can go back and help other people. So the return is great. Also, if you're creating leaders, I've created leaders. All of them haven't hit rank. Some have. There's a, I'm looking at a certificate for My Daily Choice for helping enroll the most people to hit 1K since January of 2021. That's what it's about. Not this one, not this one. This is that 50K. This is cool because it's so pretty, but my favorite is just that certificate I'm looking at that stated how many other people I helped to see and feel what I'm experiencing in this business. The financial benefit, the freedom to be home, the freedom to be there for my kids, my husband, he has a business. It's that. So if you're not helping other people, that's not good. The return is greater when you help other people be a leader. To me, you're not a leader unless you're helping other people. A teacher's not a teacher unless people are graduating from their class. If everyone stayed in the class, what kind of teacher is that? What kind of leadership is that? Right? So I want you to think of it that way. John C. Maxwell always says that. You create leaders, and then you're a leader. If you're not, and don't think it has to do with rank. It has to do with posturing up. Maybe them being coachable, teachable, trainable. They're following the skill or the post that you set forth. They're doing it exactly to the T. They are following you, the leader, and they too want to be that great leader. That's what it's all about. Because listen, when productivity is high and momentum is high, guys, that's horsepower that is incredible to your organization. Incredible. Just one more growth is always going to be required. You guys are going through a shift. Many times in a shift, I've had huge shifts in my organization. I've had 3 different people throughout my organization asked to leave my team. My team I didn't know about, they're like 3? I didn't know there was 3, there's 3, yeah. I've had people leave my team, take their whole team with them. And mind you, I don't even have to sign off on that. I could just say no and they leave and then the rest of their team stay with me. I've never blocked anyone from their blessing. If I have to rebuild, I rebuild. But I tell you what, I always stay in a place of gratitude because I live on Thanksgiving Lane. I need you guys to live on Thanksgiving Lane. Everybody who you cross paths with in this business, everyone who you've met in this business, those who drove you crazy, those customers that you wanted to smack across the face, those leaders that you were like, are you serious right now? Who says that? I want you to be grateful for every single person and every single product that you've had in your business. Because if you stay in a place of gratitude and thanksgiving, you're going to get abundantly more. And you won't stay in a place of regret. You won't stay in a place of lack. You won't stay in a place of sorrow. You won't fall in a place of depression. It's important. It's important for our mindset, right? So live on Thanksgiving Lane. Whatever street you live on, you don't live on that street no more. You live on Thanksgiving Lane. That's where you live. And then you're going to write that in your journal. Wish I had mine right here. We keep journals on my team all the way up from Candace Burt Davis. And I've done that even prior to her, but she's helped me to master my journaling, ladies and gentlemen. It's important. Stay in a place of thanksgiving. Take risk. Take risks as you grow. You want to grow. All right. So you got to grow. So it's not just the trainings. Yeah, you should be in a training. You shouldn't miss a training. You shouldn't miss an event you qualify for. Yes, you should be reading books, but you have to take risk. Right now, all of you are on the cliff and you don't know what to do. You're like, we're all on a cliff. We're on the edge between our products or this. We feel displaced. What do we do? Jump. Maybe it's time for you to jump. You have so much artillery. You have so much that you've acquired through the years that you can pivot in your business and it can still work for you. You just have to sit down, map it out, write it out, but you're going to have to do the thing you probably don't want to do. Maybe you're someone that says, Stange, I despise public speaking. I can't do a live. I can't. I just can't. I don't even know what to talk about. Get books. Read books. Jenna says it. I do it. Teachers do it all the time. We read and then we go facilitate. Read a book. Talk about a story. You heard me tell a bunch of different stories as I'm talking to you to help you to connect. That sun is like making the lighting crazy in there. But I want you to think of that as well. God, ring light. Let me not touch it. Think of that. My ring light is about to fall. Wait, I want you to think of that. How can you continue to grow? How could you continue to be a better version of yourself? Because remember, as you grow, you're going to peel those layers. I'm going to leave you with one more story as I hold my ring light with this hand. A friend of mine, I spoke to him this morning and we were talking about, I was telling him some things going on in my business and he says, wow, and I was like, yeah, and I was like, these are the things I'm doing and putting in place. He's like, I love your attitude. He's like, wow. He's like, I have a story for you. And I was like, yeah. He says, you know how I left BMW after like 15, 16 years? And I'm like, yeah. He says, now that I started my own trucking company and I'm making money. He says, it's still tight. And he says, I can tell when I talk to people from my old job that they're waiting for it to fail. They are waiting for me to fail. And I said to him, wow, I know what you're talking about. And he says, but I can't and I won't. So I want you guys to remember that there's someone out there who's waiting for you to fail. What you're going through is a growing pain. Once you get over that cliff, once you grow from this, you'll look back and say, wow, I'm so happy that I've endured all of this because it made me the person I am. We must all develop. And we're only going to develop by being passionate about growing. If you're not passionate about growing, then leadership isn't for you. This isn't for you. You can't just say, I'm just in this to make money and that's it. All right, well, then you're going to be a hit it and quit it type of person. You'll make the money, but you'll be out of here. If you want longevity, then you must have a passion for growth. You must build and not destroy. And you must make the most of this opportunity called My Daily Choice to elevate and take your life to that next level, and so that you can develop a sustainable and a solid legacy for your family. All right. Warwick, do you want to, I'm open to, oh, my ring light's standing. I'm open to questions. I'm open to conversation. What do you guys think? Let me see what's popping in the chat. You guys saying a lot of stuff here. Oh, how candid I am. Thank you, Dale.
Right. It would be great to take a few questions. So I'd open it up to everybody. If they unmute themselves, then we can have a question and answer session. So guys, if you want to ask questions, please go ahead.
Eye on the prize. I see you, Elizabeth. Thank you, Santa, for these nuggets. I'm ready once more for the race. Yes, Queen. Be ready for the race. Lay down tonight, Elizabeth, and write down what you're afraid of. How about that, Elizabeth? And whatever that thing is, I need you to embrace that in this business. and it's probably going to get you rich. That's the truth. It's a hurdle. It's time to climb it. 20 years to overnight success. I've been in this business of network marketing for 8 years, because I see some comments referencing that. I've been a teacher for 16 years and I retired out at 42. I'm 47 now. So I've been with My Daily Choice 3 years this past December. Rosemary, I see your hands up. Unmute yourself. I can't do it for you, but yeah, there you are.
Okay, good evening, everyone. So I was just asking if you have downlines or your business partners,
Yes.
how often should you meet them, or how often should you have like maybe a tactical meeting?
Wow, that's a good question. I would say, for example, the people that are on this call right now, honestly, are some of my top leaders. Junette started a month ago. I've already had, I think, about 4 different one-on-ones with her. So I guess that'd be an average of, and that's formally. We also do them informally. So I always reach out to my team. April, I speak to her. I reach out to them. What's going on in your business? What's new? Frequently. I can't put a number on it, but I would say at least once a week for those who are running. Your walkers, you're going to meet them where they're comfortable. Your walkers may say, you know, I have this, I have that. I only can talk with you, coach, maybe once a month. And so you'll meet them there. Your crawlers may never have time to talk to you because they have work, of course. They have the kids, of course. They have to cook. They have to travel. They have excuses. So they are not ready to do what? Grow and elevate and make sacrifices for that next level. So then you just check back with them at a later time, but run with the runners and definitely keep them close. And your walkers too, keep them close. Walkers can become runners. I hope that helped you, Rosemary. Did it help?
Yeah, it helps, but I'm getting from you that you're reaching one at a time or one at their own time. You're not having like all of them together.
Oh, my meetings are weekly. So my team meetings are weekly on a Monday. They used to be every Saturday. But my team meetings are weekly. One-on-ones are important outside of just team meetings, in my opinion, and what's helped me to get that success. Phone calls. I call people. If you were on my team, I'd call you. Rosemary, I didn't see you on a training in the last 2 weeks. What's going on? Rosemary, I don't see you in the group the way you were, with the same momentum and the same hunger. What's going on? What's going on personally in your life? What's changed, Rosemary? And then you'll have that conversation with me.
Okay, thank you. That's nice.
You're welcome.
Stanja, this is just a comment.
Hi, Dale.
Hi, how are you?
I'm feeling good.
As we built our team over the years, the thing you just mentioned, I thought I made me smile, is the fact that you talk about people having free time. And it's funny, the runners always have the least amount of available time, but find the time to do what they need to do. Do you agree?
Yep, I'm guilty sometimes, and I'm a runner.
But I always get a kick out of the crawlers and the walkers will say, I don't have the time to do this. And yet they have more time available than the runners, and yet they can't find the time. So it really comes down, I think you'll agree, it comes down to training your mind, training your system to find the time, to make the time, to prioritize the time. Yes,
I agree. And you said something. It can be the opposite. Your runner. Now, here's the thing. A runner got to be a runner because obviously they were hitting some goals, right, Dale? But then sometimes runners start to slow down in their race, right? Because they're tired. They were actually sprinting. At times they should have been pacing themselves, like the story I mentioned to you. So sometimes your runners will lose breath. But one thing I know is you don't throw your runner to the side. You know, you got to stick with them and say, hey, you have the sauce. You were able to do this. You were able to hit 1K, 5K. What makes you think you can't hit 50? What makes you think you can't? You're the one getting in the way. And then you'll see your crawlers. At times, your crawler will be the one that comes out of nowhere and they're the victorious one because their hunger is different. You see the runner already reached their goal. It's like we say, in music, You'll see different artists come out and they'll produce this great album. First 2 albums were the top. They were incredible pieces of work. The lyrics spoke to their experience. But then after the Grammy, and then after they get the duet with another pop star and they blow up, they're on the Billboard charts, then you're like, what's going on with your music? Where's the hunger? You with me, right? And then that new artist that's coming out is killing it. Why? It's a hunger. But then Madonna is still Madonna. How is Madonna still Madonna? Like, I love Madonna. I love her. She reinvents herself and she still acts like she's hungry. Jay-Z, how is he still Jay-Z? How is Kanye West still making great music and now you're designing clothes? It's a hunger. They act like they've never been celebrities before. So like you said, Dale, it's a mindset. I like that, Dale. Thank you for that connect.
Sure. It's almost, you always have to have that fear of loss, no matter how good you get, how successful you are, you need that fear of loss. And you said it, it can go down a lot faster than it goes up. So you got to be mentally strong and just always know that you've got to be growing, because if you're not growing, you're dying. You're dying.
You are dying. Yeah. Yeah. I love it. Anybody else?
Yeah, Stanja, just that the last thing you said earlier was that you need to take risks. And I think that's something that we lose sometimes, is the necessity to take risks.
Why do you think we lose that?
I don't know. I just think it's like you think that you've achieved what you wanted to, but to get to the next place, you have to take an extra step, and that may be a risk. That may be jumping off the edge of the cliff.
And jumping off the edge of a cliff is scary. Jumping off the edge of a cliff, there's a lot of fear. Jumping off the edge of a cliff, you don't know what waits for you. Even if you see water, for example, on my honeymoon, we got married in Jamaica. We had a destination wedding, and my whole family left, and it was just my husband and I, and we did the quads on a tour, and we got to a cliff, and the dread said, all right, everybody, this is the edge of the cliff, the end of the tour. Anybody who want to jump into the ocean, you have to know how to swim. No one going to save you. Look over the cliff, you see the water, knock upon the rocks, you have to know how to swim. Then you have to swim over to this iron, rusty ladder that was harder to climb because gravity's pulling you back down in the water. So he made it very clear the rules of engagement. And so who won jump? Everybody was jumping, everyone's jumping. My husband knows how to swim. And I noticed he looked afraid. I noticed it on his face. He looked scared to death. I was afraid, but I didn't wear my fear. I looked like I was ready to jump, but deep down inside, I was scared. But I knew I was going to live and I was going to be just fine when I jumped in that water. I'm not a powerful swimmer, at least not freestyle. I'm a powerful swimmer doing a backstroke, jumped off the cliff. All I remember, you shoot all the way down into the bottom of that ocean, I tell you, feels good. Getting back up, that was good. But the water just kept rushing in and slamming against those rocks. And I had to fight against that to get to that ladder. And I remember as I was swimming, I looked up and saw everyone careening over the cliff like they were all ready to jump to save me. And I said, oh, you gotta be kidding me. I'm out here drowning, and they see it. And immediately I said, no, what are you good at? You're not dying out here on your honeymoon. Your mom's not getting a call that your daughter died on her honeymoon after she just left a day ago. I turned on my back and I did my infamous stroke. And all of a sudden I saw everyone ease back as they saw I was moving closer to that ladder. Fear will hold you still. Fear will hold you in a place where you'll never get to know the unknown. You'll never get to know the person you could have been or the person you are deep inside, your level of strength. That day I learned who I am. I learned that in adversity, I'm quick thinking. I learned that in adversity, if it's a situation that's tough, I'm gonna keep going. I'm not giving up. I learned that about myself. It was swim or die. So fear is where probably most of us are in certain areas of our lives and our business. How long are you gonna stay in that place of fear? What do you have to lose? What do you possibly have to lose? What, it doesn't work out? Big deal. Nothing beats a fail but a try. That's how I was raised. So we must try. Make
If
sense?
you succumb to fear, you'll regret it.
You will regret it. You will regret it because you just don't know what could have happened. And if we think negatively, then that's what we're going to entertain in our lives. I never thought that anything was going to happen to me when I jumped, but I saw my husband's face, he did. And he'll still tell you he wasn't comfortable. He just didn't see a good outcome. So then he wasn't ready. And we have to condition our brain also to get to the place of taking risks. There's someone on here that's like, yeah, that's easy for you guys to say. I'm in fear. I'm crippled of things that is a change or different for me. So then you, my friend, need to start writing, keeping a journal. I have so many of these that I've exhausted. Keep a journal. This journal has when I wrote that April would hit her 10K. I wrote it. And she hit it, not that day, but maybe 3 weeks later. I wrote it. I wrote when our team would hit 50K in April 12th, I think. No, I said 25K. We hit it like 4 days later. And I go back and I read it. It's a biblical verse. Write the vision plain upon the table, and he that readeth will run with it. Habakkuk 2:2. So start training your brain to think positively. You know, if anyone has heard of Deepak Chopra, 21 Days of Abundance, do that if you will. We need to train our brain to be happy for what we have and then realize that there's more to come. It's out there, it's in our arm's reach. You just have to be grateful for what you have and go out there and start speaking into existence the things that you want to attract. So for that person who's like, I can't do that. Yes, you can. I need you to stop saying I can't and start writing, I can, and I will. And one day you will do that thing that terrifies you. In college, I was a psych major. I hate rats. I'm petrified of rats. I took this course because I read it says you will be handling rats. My mother said to me, are you serious right now? I said, I have to do this. I can't live in fear. I want to know that I can touch a rat. Well, everyone was dangling the rat by the tail to put it in the maze. What did I do? I picked the sucker up by his entire body. People were looking at me like, that's bizarre. It was so funny. But the point is, they thought I was more brave than they were, but I couldn't imagine picking up a rat by its tail. The whole, like my dog, I picked it up like my mini dog and put it like it was a puppy. Yeah, that. But needless to say, I got over that fear. I don't want to see a rat, but I'm no longer in fear.
You asked me if I was crazy.
You are crazy. You have to be on here training your team.
Is that, you don't have to be crazy, but it helps.
It does help. It does help. Being crazy is cool, guys. It can be really cool because you're abnormal. And I'd like to think all of us on here are abnormal, because think of how people look at us, people who look at network marketers. They think we're crazy. They think we're chasing a pipe dream. You really think you're going to be a millionaire? Well, I knew Candace when she wasn't a millionaire, when we were in our previous business. And when she invited me to a call for this one, I was like, yeah, I'll do it because you're influential and you lead pretty well. I'll come check it out. 2.5 years later, she's grossed over 3.4 million. And she actually sent me this. So when we talk about how do we get to a place, oh, here it is, of not being in fear. Sometimes I'm one of those people, because I wanted to be a school teacher, I'd always say, I don't want to be rich. I don't want to be rich. I just want to be comfortable. What kind of nonsense is that? I want to have money. I like to have a nice lifestyle. So I had to stop saying that. And so Candace sent this to me and she said, cross out her name and write my name. And this is what was printed into the direct sales home journal. And so I crossed out her name, wrote my name, that I will be making 3.5 million in my daily choice. And it starts with the vision. You must have the vision. You must write it all down. You must look at it every day to the point where it starts to saturate your brain and it seems believable. It seems like you own these things already and you don't. We are all abnormal. Regular people think we're foolish. They think we will never reach that goal. We are dream chasers. We're stupid. And we need to go find a 9-to-5 and stick to it, because that's more promised than what we're doing. Now you know that's nonsense.
I'm going to close with this one question that I see is in the chat
Yeah.
from Elizabeth.
What do you
And
have
she's-
there, Elizabeth?
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Stanja, for that. I'm enjoying and following you up. I'm ready to go. Now, we are facing some challenges here in Kenya, and my concern is a few of my business partners that I love very much. 2 years down the lane, they just qualify 40 BV and don't make any moves. I don't know how to go about that. You see that somebody is very, very interested, but just stuck in the mud, not doing anything. I don't know. And you say, keep on, walk with the chorus. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes
Elizabeth,
it's not easy.
it's not easy. Elizabeth, can I ask you something? Is this person on 40 BV? Have they been on 40 BV for the last 2 years?
For the last 2 years.
Every
For the
month,
last 2 years,
every month. 40
every month they qualify, and there are many, like 9 of them, but never see. So my worry is this: it's very hard to keep on getting money out of your pocket just to qualify yourself. I don't know how to help after listening to you. I feel like how will I reach out? How can I help?
First thing I would say, Elizabeth, is to reach out to that individual and ask them, what do they want? Maybe what you think they want is not what they want. So you need to ask them where they are right now. Why are they only on 40 BV? And what are the products they're getting? Listen to that answer. It could be, that's the products I need to better my health. Yes, I told you I joined this for the business, but right now I'm focused on my health. I'm focused on this, and this is what's working for me. Fine. You can't take them somewhere they're not ready to go, but keep reaching out. It could be once a month or whatever, and asking, what else can you do? Because you're grateful, because you said 9 people. I know if I do 9 people on 40 BV, that's 360 BV. So in my mind, I'm thinking now I'm only 640 short from hitting 1K. So how do I go and find that? So there's a couple, I just did this with Junette, and that's a whole nother training. I don't even want to pull out this whiteboard. Josh taught it, Candace mentioned it to me, and it's only what made sense to me. You're going to go through your entire organization. You're going to ask that same person, I'm about to run. I'm going to do a 90-day run. Or it could be a 30-day run, whatever you want to call it. March Madness, whatever. Say, are you willing to run with me? Yes. What rank would you like to hit? You can ask that person who's 40. They say, I'd like to finally see 1K. Okay. How many people are you willing to recruit this month? Because you're going to break it down for them to hit 1K. Tell them if you have 4 people or 5 people, and if they were to come in at 200 BV, then you can hit. Or whoever you have current, if they have 4 people under them, tell them there's 30 days in the month. You divide the days of the month. Actually, let me do it with you. You're going to take 1,000 and divide it by 30. You're going to get a number. Well, I don't know, what's that number? 300 and something. Then you're going to tell them, take that number and divide it by the people who are going to run with them. So if it's 4 people or 3 people, take that and divide it into that number. Now, each person has a responsibility for how much their team needs to bring in. How do you eat an elephant? A little bit at a time. So I'm going to say it again. You take 30 days. Actually, you only have maybe 29 days. I would chop it down to 25 so you have extra cushion. Take 1,000 or whatever rank you want to reach or they want to reach. Divide that by the number of days left in this month. You're going to get a number. That's how much volume you need to bring in to hit it, right? Now you're going to look at the people, even the people that are just bringing in the 40 BV. You act like that's nothing. That's something. Without that, you have nothing. So that's something that's helping. So we're grateful. You ask them, do you want to run with me? They say, yeah. Now put them into the equation. And then they're going to have to do the same thing for you. So now you're going to have other people helping you to hit that larger number, but everyone's number is going to get smaller and smaller and smaller. So it's easier for you to help those who are willing to be helped. So if your friend says, I can only bring in one person or two people I can recruit that I can think of that can help me to hit 1K, then that's what they're going to divide 1,000 by 25 days, whatever number you get. Then the two people divide it into that and tell them that's your responsibility of how you're going to have to bring in volume. You have to look at the numbers and give them something numerical, data driven, and give them a play. So if you have a script, if you have a post, give them a post. If it's something digital, you guys are digital. So you could say something like, who loves Trim 365? Who wants to lose weight and be summertime fine? Contact me, comment below. And they put that in a group. They get the comments. Now you create a script and how they could drive that traffic right to the website, which I've done for my team. I've written a whole script on how that traffic, every time someone says info, there's a whole script, and then that traffic can be driven to their website. So you can do some things like that for them as well. You don't always have to create the play. You just have to give them the levels of creativity on how to hit the number. They could do a host a post, ask a bunch of friends, who will host a post for me? Just do me a favor. I need a host a post. Host a posts have been going on in MLM since the beginning of time, but we don't talk about it, so people don't know strategies. Do a host a post, ask someone to host a post on their page, because maybe their page is cleaner, they're not even in the business. Then tell your team to go do the same thing. Host a post, create the post, bring some momentum into your organization. Sometimes when my organization, April, unmute yourself. And if you want a living example of exactly what you just said, I'm about to give you a living example. April came into this business. She knew what she wanted. She wanted CBD. She, every month for I think it was almost 2 years, she was getting CBD. 100, she got the 200. She got the big package, like the $500 something package. Then she kept maintaining it with 200 BV every month. I don't think she ever missed. If she was close to missing, I would call her and she would say, oh God, I'm busy, and she'd put her order in. But she's one of those people, you see what you just said, that I thought of. Who's been running with me? When we did hit 10K, she hit 1K before 1K was even a rank, but she wasn't really bringing it in. Then she went back down to just getting her product. I wasn't hearing from her. So I reached out to her and I had a conversation. I looked at the people who've been running with me the longest. I don't care if it was 40. I don't care if it was 30. I don't care if it was 100. You've been running with me. That's a lot. And with that being said, April, are you there? Tell me what happened from that phone call. Are you there, babe?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
We hear you loud and clear with your amazing. Oh, you look gorgeous. Fabulous. Fabulous. Go ahead.
You too today. Well, just the conversation, it just ignited, just reminded me of why I was so sick of what I was doing. And it was another alternative. When you're in the midst of, well, in my case, I was in the midst of a position that just had me constantly going. And plus I still had to take care of my family. So I'm constantly just ripping and running. I never even had time to even think about the business as an option, as an escape from what I hated so much. And so by you calling me and always checking in with me, that reminded me like, hey, I do have other options. If I put just half of the energy that I put into what I'm doing daily into this, I can make it be a success. And it also was saving me money and making me strategize better, because I didn't know any better. I'm just doing the 200. I wasn't involved enough or staying plugged in enough to know that there was a key element that could help me build my business. So being able to point that out to me, and I'm seeing like how I needed to redirect that where it made business sense, that helped also a lot.
Thank you, April, for that. And she went on, Elizabeth, to go from 100, 200 BV every month for 2 months to being a 10K affiliate, to me going to Candace and saying, hey, when we doing calls, I need this young lady to be on our call. She's now part of our leadership team. There's not many people in the second level that's a part of Candace's leadership team. She's one of them, because now she's influenced and now people are speaking her name, and I love it. Latasha's a different situation. No, Latasha didn't hit 10K, but Latasha kept her 40 BV every month. She's on my second level. She's been with me 2.5 years. I will never leave her behind just because it's a certain number of volume. I have to keep thinking, what does she want? What does she want? So I called her on the phone and asked, what in the world are you doing? What do you want? So I know how to coach you, because I'm trying to impose on you what I want. I want you to win. And she's like, Coach, this is what's going on in my life. And she went on to hit 1K. Tasha, and I'm gonna leave that to the last person to speak, because I want you to hear from real people so you don't just think I'm talking this. Tasha, can you unmute yourself, baby? I know she's at work. Good night. She's at work. Can you sneak and talk or no? If she doesn't unmute, then she's at work.
Ma'am.
Yo, you can.
Yes, ma'am. Hey, everybody. So if you hear me whispering, that's just why I'm being low.
Super quick, Tasha, super quick. What did that conversation do for you when I called you all the times I did and said, and we have gone at it. It's never been just a smooth road, but I will never leave her behind. Go ahead, babe.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, it's that conversation was empowering. And the reason why I use that is because we can have determination to want for something, but we may not be mad enough and be determined enough to push for it. And that conversation put my focus in a different light. And I've come back many times to say, this isn't working, help me. But, sometimes it's not that you need the help, you just need some direction. And you have been that light and you've been that growth. And guys, if anybody on this team or anybody's team is feeling that, I'm not sure what I'm doing or where I'm going, this is a place to stay. This is a place, it's worth the longevity, it's worth your energy, it's worth your time. And if you have people who need that extra push, sometimes it's just the ear, because it's something that you might say that you don't know what you're talking to them about, but it's something in what you said that just clicks the light switch the other way for that person. So just that I am beyond grateful and indebted for that conversation and all of them that we continue to have.
I'm grateful to you, sis, and thanks for jumping on. So that's the answer, Elizabeth. Just be that light. And I'm not telling you every day to call this woman if she's a walker. These women were once walkers too. But life sometimes it's taking a toll on them. And if they're still paying an auto ship, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of dedication. We just need to talk to them and figure out where they are and how we can help them get where they need to go. All right, Elizabeth, I hope that helps.
Thank you so much. That helps and makes a lot of sense.
Good.
Thank you.
Follow me. I'd love to see you do your thing.
Stanja, I'd like to say.
I will. I'll follow you.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'd just like to say on behalf of everyone, thank you for making the time to come and speak to us. And thank you for the input from your team. It has been a good learning experience for us tonight.
Yes.
And well, this might not be the last. We hope not. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome, guys. I just put my name where you can find me on YouTube. So if you ever just want anything from the body melt system, how to make great shakes, or tips on how to hit 1K, how to navigate your back office, name it, it's back there. So you can follow me on YouTube and subscribe, and also turn on your notifications, because I go live throughout the week every day on YouTube. So. And April's on there as well if you want to follow her. She is a YouTube channel. April, type it in the comments super quick, because it's Fit ASF, but I don't want to mess it up. So I hope she could type that in there really quick. But mine is just my name, Stanja Fleetwook. So there's more support if you guys need it. All right. It's been a pleasure. I thank you guys so much. God bless you too, Elizabeth, and all of you. And hope to see you guys at our next event and convention.